Don't be lying, they go rabbi. I reply, we.
Share the live, share the live.
I got this letter from Trinidad recently, and from me fans them up in New York City. Say I remind them of chalk dust and cocoa, and they love me topical, conscious Kaiso. But why they judge you? Criteria rise by reputation. Whenever you enter competition, you got to fight it out. King don't give up the boat. Come to New York City or down south, because they go rob me again. He go be the same old game. 89 was clear to see they give you ground to Sakoti. Kitty Son said the man rehabilitate, and they make Sako so mighty and great. And all of you done broke down prison gate.
Rob me again.
Come to get your fortune and fame. They give you crown to controller just because a big supporter. I told them labor deal with equal rights and justice, but the man they want no money out of it. Just a crown on the head, Douglas say he beg. I hear he ball, they say rob me again. Come to New York and put a spade. Willy la la li lo la la.
Share the live, share the live.
Yes, I. Don't be lying, they go rabbi. Is the crime? One as the junior Caleb soaking. I was to be in the final 7 picking. The argument at 15 I was too young, so they select me John King Solomon. The maestro King Elimas when big and radio and tell the committee, boy, they should not rob me so. 85 final show. You know how you feel when they give you position to star shield. That's true. Rob you again. Your talent going down the drain. In vain. They whip you once, they whip you twice. You right to sell out power for life. Oh gosh. And when we hear you out to pray for the land, we know you are singing it's number one with a spiritual composition. Rob me again. Come to New York and put a spin. You could sing sweet like a bird, your voice just cannot be heard. Yes, you have the most classical lyrics and a modern style of soca music. We glad you ain't singing no politics. Rob me again. Come to New York and put a spin. Oh Lord, ooh. Do we Don't be like, robbery is the crime. If you have $10,000, car and land, by now you could have been a very rich man. What is for Caesar, give it unto Caesar. And then you will see a rehab Ayatollah. Pack up your belongings, come quick. Come now to border Spain. Petition don't give you a bad name. Tell director one contender they can stay and sing. When Labour win, they will crown them king. Not you, you gonna be robbery again. Final night, you gonna be the same. King Eli Chamberlain, cause the audience no, I don't win. I got the best diction and clarity. That's why Eli Matter attacking me. He got to send first power to bang me. Robbery again. Tonight he go be the same. Smart Junior in Antigua, in the fish shut out and swallow. And we know that you can do just likewise. But they go up you praying in front of our eyes. So farewell to you fans and tell them goodbye. Yes, I robbery again. Come to New York and put a Spain. Oh yeah, globally. Yes, I. Don't buy, goodbye. Oui, oh my day.
Sons of the man, the King Ayatollah, the late great Ayatollah, icon in his own right. I'm DJ Marisha, and I'm coming to you live and direct from my bunker here in the Republic of St. Paul's, St. Kitts. Yes, you heard it right. The DJ is still here in our beloved Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And I think it was quite fitting to bring the man himself, Ayatollah, with my first presentation on Wednesday, 7th January, the official relaunch of the DJ Marisha experience here, and Facebook and YouTube. You know, there's so many robbery that's taking place. It's such a fitting song. There's robbery in the Calypso arena, robbery in the operations of government here that running our beloved Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. My good people, we just finished Sugar Mass there, and it appears as though Calypso has a different meaning. I'm still trying to understand what the judges saw on finals night, because I think the King Sakrati got a bad deal this time around. He have gotten bad deals before, but this one was definitely too plain, because as I've said previously, we seem to be having a confusion here. We're having queen shows and comedies shows instead of Kaiso. So to the King Sakrati, first runner-up, you're there, but in my view, you was the crown king for the Sugar Mass. As usual, the judges get it wrong, just as we, the people, have got it wrong when we elect the corrupt administration that we have there now. I was part of that campaign, so definitely I got it wrong as well. So we have an opportunity to correct that situation in the not too distant future. So I look forward to playing my role in correcting that mistake. My good people, I know many of you might be scrolling the web and bumping into us and wondering what this podcast is all about. So let me drop this ad that you will know what takes place here on a Wednesday evening.
Wednesday evenings are heating up. Log on to DJ Marishall's Facebook Live broadcast every Wednesday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. It's a frank and candid exploration into the social, cultural, political, and economic issues affecting our federation. And just in case you missed it, you can also catch the broadcast on his YouTube channel, DJ Marishall. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube and smash that bell. You will be notified whenever he goes live. DJ Marishall, every Wednesday evening, Facebook 6 to 8 p.m. or thereafter on his YouTube channel, DJ Marishall. Log on.
Yes, my good people, you heard it right. Each and every Wednesday evening right here, the struggle continues. We are rolling right over into 2026. The format stands the same. The message is the same. And as such, let's take a run across to St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, and hear my brother there, the man Malvern Gums, leader and owner of the Spectrum Band, have to say to us.
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're listening to DJ Marisha, playing you the best in Caribbean music.
You got that?
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're locked into DJ Marisha. Keep it locked.
Right there. And my good people, just before we get into the meat of the matter, let me say good evening, good afternoon to an icon as well, the man in the likes of Dr. Garfield Alexander. And let's take a listen to what Brother Alexander have to say about the DJ.
DJ Marisha, I don't want you guys to take your eyes off him. Remember, he's been around for some time. Let's go back to COVID and lockdowns. The gentleman came in, was locked down in quarantine, and then realized the total hypocrisy, tyranny, and oppression of the then administration during our most horriblest time. Spoke out. Not only spoke out, became an activist. And then you know what he did? Organize and centralize. And he never stopped organizing and centralizing until Timothy was gone. I don't even want to talk about the involvement he had before and the Douglas administration and the Harris. We ain't gonna talk about that. I'm just talking that during COVID, that man, both on this front, locally, and in the US, waged war against tyranny and oppression. One simple man, a DJ as he calls himself. He never called himself an engineer or anything else, just a DJ, because he understands the power of voice, and not just voice, autonomous, independent, honest, transparent voice always wins in the end. So it could be persons with unlimited power and unlimited money. He somehow always becomes the David against the Goliaths. Be careful with him. Be kind to him. Watch him. Because trust me, he's going to triumph in the end again.
Yes, and that's the prediction of Brother Garfield Alexander. My good people, as I said previously, the struggle continues. And where we left off in the old year, we're going to start right there. I am still waiting on some updates on that Destiny project and Nevis. I understand based on some clips I played in my recent broadcast from Mr. Jensen by way of the topics with the man Yoshan and Brother Banky King Smith. The gentleman said he expected an agreement to sign between the NIA and the Destiny team by the end of the year. We are now on the 7th day of January 2026. I have not heard of any updates, whether or not that agreement was signed or whether or not, as usual, they're keeping it under the radar like they did the project in general. But I wait until such time as I get the signal whether something was signed or not signed, and I'll report to you accordingly. My good people, on Saturday morning, Saturday, January 3rd, we woke up to the news that the US of A, under direction of President Trump, invaded Venezuela and capture the president and his wife, who is currently sitting in a detention center in the New York area, based on reports from the media. Now, if these things was not so serious, they would be laughable, because I can recall during the election campaign a few years back, I made a prediction here in this podcast, along with Mr. Benter during a conversation, that based on what was going on in the region here, based on what was transpiring in our beloved federation with the CBI and the ongoing saga between the MSR media and the current administration led by Dr. Terence Jew, with foreign investors that was duped, taken advantage of, misled, with their complaints to not only the State Department and the FinCEN operation there, but basically Mr. Martinez, Philip Martinez. I got to give him some credit to be the fighter that he is, because he's a man of my own heart. Once you know wrong is done to you or to a country, you're going to take it to the belly of the beast and to the end of the road. And as a result of what was transpiring, I made some prediction that I recommended to the Prime Minister, Dr. Terence Jew at the time, based on information I got, that you made Philip Martinez, by extension the MS media, you gave them the opportunity to be the first public benefactor, whatever they call it, for the CBI. You encouraged them to purchase the OTI hotel, now MSR hotel. And to my understanding, the investors spent upward of some $8 million US for that property. When you add renovations and everything else that they invest, they're claiming that they spend upward of $30 million US in St. Kitts Nevis. What I tried to explain to Prime Minister Joe, whatever the fallout was between him, the AG, and Mr. Martinez or the MSR team, just give the people them back their money, or buy back the hotel, whatever. Give the people the money, let them leave the Federation, if you are not going to allow them to recoup their investment. And I guess this little black boy from St. Paul's, words does not mean nothing to them, because I am not telling them to put money in the offshore accounts and fatten their piggy bank and stuff like that. So against my advice, they went out there and created all kind of fake AI videos and WhatsApp and circulated. They even get the DJ mixed up in these things after telling the DJ that they were sorry that I got caught up in it. yet trying to make the DJ a part of those scandalous stuff. 2025 was not good for the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. 2026, as we can see, is not going to be any better. It's only going to get worse, my good people. Because back then, when I was predicting that the US will step into this region and do what they have to do to protect their interests or their citizens' interests in this region, I remember some people on the thread say I was chatting shit. These are sovereign states. They cannot come in here and mess with anybody. Well, we have seen that they're gone with who they claim to be the head of the snake. And there are many more names that is on that list. Right in our little island of St. Kitts and Nevis, right in our federation, there are several individuals' names on those lists. And just as the president of Venezuela was taken out of his bedroom in the early hours of the morning of January 3rd, 2026, I am warning again the Prime Minister and his team, fix the problem before we get to that point in St. Kitts and Nevis. You guys might not get picked up out of your bedroom. You might get picked up on the street. You might get picked up in traveling. None of you is off limits. If this was not a wake-up call on January 3rd, 2026, everybody out there claiming it to be wrong. You hear all kind of world leaders saying it's wrong and it's illegal. Well, look at what transpired thus far. Look at what transpired thus far. On the 5th of January, the leader of Venezuela and his wife went before a judge in New York. And at that session, based on reports, the individual that claimed to be innocent and violated by the United States, their legal representative did not even ask for bail. And whatever the end result going to be out of this matter, let's look at it. As per reports, the next court hearing for these two individuals is March. So at the least, we can say they will be locked down for another 2 months before we hear anything about them again. So no matter how the leaders of the other nations that may support the leaders of Venezuela and his wife, nothing going to change from where he's at. And I have listened to many pundits in the region. I have listened to talks out of Barbados, St. Lucia, Dominica, Antigua. And the situation is that even here in St. Kitts Nevis, I am told, and it has been stressed, that Prime Minister Joe, effective January 1st, 2026, has taken up the mantle of the chairman of CARICOM. And the talk is out there that they're hearing from everybody else about this Venezuela matter, except from the chairman of CARICOM. Well, I have one advice for the Prime Minister, He may not have listened to anything I have said in the past, for whatever reason. But I would advise the Prime Minister, you better get on your big boy pants, get on your leadership cap, and do the right thing, or walk away from that position. Forfeit it to the next person. Because I can say to you, Mr. Prime Minister, I understand you're having some roundtable coming up sometime, if not today, tomorrow. These local journalists that you use as props to babysit you with some soft questions and not following up. When it comes to the international media, you're not going to have that luxury. And whatever you say out of your mouth, you'll be held accountable for. And now you just don't represent St. Kitts and Nevis, you represent the CARICOM Islands, the whole region. So whatever has caused you to make those blunders in the last 3-4 years as Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, you really can't afford to continue down that road. So I would hope that you either have intentions of improving your communication skills, walk away from the corruptive behaviors and deals that are taking place at the moment, or you're going to be facing some serious situation in our beloved federation, and by extension, affecting the people of the region. Like I said, right now you don't just represent St. Kitts Nevis, you represent the CARICOM. Many people will have to pay a serious price based on whatever your decision is. So, Mr. PM, time to wake up. Decide whether or not you're ready for the job at hand, or just simple forfeit the position. I think you have been misled by this AG that I once supported to be the best choice. Based on his actions over the past months, 3 years and months to be exact, I'm of the view that it was a bad choice. Another matter that I spoke about some years back during this Dr. Joe-led Labor administration. During the campaign of 22, one of my concerns were that upon visiting that prison project in Estridge, the size of that project, that amount of investment in the size of that prison, I said it then, and I'm going to repeat it this afternoon. It's either the intention was to arrest the entire population of St. Kitts and Nevis, or our government, unbeknown to us, had intentions of going into prison tourism. And when I say prison tourism, I meant what is taking place around the globe is that whether it might be Europe, the UK, the US, who are sending criminals to other islands and paying them to house them in prison for a fee. That is what I call prison tourism. And in recent time, I heard of, it is alleged, and I don't think it's no longer alleged because I'm going to drop a clip in a bit, that leaders in our region, including St. Kitts Nevis, were approached to accept third generation deportees. Deportees in the like of individuals that should be sent back to respective countries where the countries refuse to accept them. Prisoners that should be deported to other countries, which was rejected. And the OECS, the CARICOM countries, was approached with this matter. And there was some negotiation in place. The issue is that we elect our ministers of governments and our prime ministers to take care of our country, to make way for us to survive economically and otherwise. And it seemed as though with all of the big talk during the campaign, none of them really have any sense of direction where to go once they're elected. I remember once Prime Minister just saying to me, well, Jeff Roy is wanting to campaign, now is the job to govern. And I thought he understand that. Because just as Dominica and Antigua are now coming out and saying that they have been in discussion with the states, with the USA, to accept deportees from who are not nationals of Antigua and Dominica, foreign deportees. They have signed, in the process of signing agreement to accept third country citizens from the USA. That is what we are hearing. St. Kitts Nevis is also have been in those negotiations, I understand. But to date, no consultation with the citizens of the Federation, no consultation with anyone in this region, as a matter of fact, neither in St. Kitts or Nevis. And for a lot of you out there that just see it fit to come on social media and cuss the DJ for bringing information to you, one day you are going to wake up and realize that you all no longer have any rights to live in this country. You all who might have multiple dwellings and rent, multiple bank accounts, multiple whatever, going to wake up and find out you don't have any rights to it anymore. You're going to be worse than my boy there, the president of Venezuela, because at least he's getting some meals, he's getting his checkup, he's getting treated like a king in those facilities. But you're going to be stuck here in this country without any rights. That is what's coming down the pike. The amount of people that they're planning to and intend to deport to these islands, that these prime ministers and foreign ministers are agreeing to save their backsides, because that's what the negotiation is, you know. There are many of them names that are called and are a part of whatever going on in Venezuela. And to save their backside, they're willing to sell out the country to save themselves. So when Prime Minister Joe, who was then Dr. Joe, campaigned about the corrupt prison in Estridge, and find himself now signing off on the majority of the CORs, I was told, to continue that prison project. There's a lot that have not been explained to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, my good people. And I will only come here and continue presenting the information. It's up to you whether you want to accept it or not. When the time is ripe and you realize that, boy, the DJ was really correct, it's going to be too late. Many of you want to see proof. Well, if what happened last Saturday morning in Venezuela is not proof enough, when it happened in St. Kitts, several of you will be too dead to know that it happened. Some of you going to be worse off than you were 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Many of you who now believe that you're above the law and you're strong and you're bad. You're a minister of this, you're a minister of that, you're a commissioner of police, you're governor general. Many of you will realize that that ain't gonna mean nothing. It will not mean anything when these folks come for us. I see it, and I got emotional about it because I saw it coming. I have not spoke to a few of my Dominica buddies there in the US for a while. And I have to give my boy George Royer and Lincoln LeBlanc and a couple of those other guys from Dominica a call to find out how they feel about this clip that I'm about to play. Because we have a lot of Dominicans here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And I want to believe that many of them came here for a better life. So to hear their prime minister talking about signing an agreement to take third country citizens who are deported to Dominica. I really would like to know how they feel about the situation. So let's take a listen.
Discussions with the United States of America, particularly in light of the December 16 proclamation announcing partial visa restrictions. Dominica has been engaged in ongoing dialogue with the United States on matters of mutual interest, and an agreement has been reached on one of the primary areas of collaboration. The United States and the Commonwealth of Dominica has entered into an agreement to facilitate third country refugees to be sent to Dominica to mitigate scenarios where the United States cannot return these individuals to their state of birth or origin. In our discussions with the State Department, there have been careful deliberations of the need to avoid receiving violent individuals or individuals who will compromise the security of Dominica. This has been acknowledged and well received by the State Department. Given the importance of bilateral relations between the United States and the Commonwealth of Dominica, I, as Prime Minister and Head of Government, believe it is important to find key points of agreement and compromise between our countries. This engagement is based on our responsibility to safeguard the well-being of our people, particularly the access to lawful travel, education, employment, and family connections, while strengthening cooperation between our two governments. I believe this will further deepen our long-standing relationship and signal clearly that Dominica remains a willing and reliable partner of the United States in our region.
Now, my good people, he used the terminology third country refugee. And the definition of that is deportees. They are deporting them from the US to the Caribbean region. When they get to the Caribbean region, where are they going to live? Who's going to be responsible for them? These folks don't have any ties to the region. Whether St. Kitts, Nevis, Antigua, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, they don't have any ties here. So are they bringing these people to replace us? We don't have a say. Shouldn't be having conversation with us. We just came out of a conversation some months back about free movement in the region. And again, I am yet to hear our Prime Minister address that matter. We understand that a few of the islands already made that commitment. I'm not sure if Dominica and Antigua are some of those countries that agree to that free movement. But once these people land in the region, they're going to be free to roam the region, in my view. If I am wrong, somebody tell me. But these hundreds of thousands of refugees that is slated to come to our shores, where are they going to live? Who's going to feed them? Who's going to be responsible for them? What's going to happen to our people here in St. Kitts and Nevis? My good people, there is a round table, I understand, coming. I think it's tomorrow. I am pretty sure the DJ would not get invited to those round table because the questions the DJ have to ask, they don't want to hear them. But at the end of the day, these questions need to be asked. What our representative that we elect to take care of us, what are they doing out there when they sit at this table drinking their champagne? Are they drunk when they're making these decisions? The Destiny Project, they are Nevis. We know that that matter should have been addressed in town halls and having national address with the citizens before it even get to the NIA, much more to the federal parliament. But we see what happened. This matter been going on for years. In July of last year, 2025, a young lady, Colin Lawrence, asked Premier Brantley about the rumor she hearing. And what she was told, read her Bible. You don't know what she's talking about. But look where we are today. We now found out from the man himself, Mr. Jensen, that he has been in conversation with both the local NIA and the federal government in regards to this Destiny project. He has been buying up lands for more than 20 months, secretly, he claimed. As a matter of fact, I don't believe everything I see and hear on social media, but I will give some credit to Brother Kelvin Daly about a posting he did there yesterday in regards to some Bitcoin ATM that will transfer funds and Nevis that was packaged and shipped to the Premier's wife. I mean, people will need to really ask these questions. What is going on? You know, there's so much to ask, so much to discuss on this very first official Wednesday podcast here, January 7, 2026. There's so much to speak about. I'm not going to get to everything, but I'm going to jump around and get to a few of it, because this destiny matter that we've been concerned about, and again, I have to give the Gas Girls and Nevis a lot of credit for the education that I received in that regard about what's really going on with that SLC project. So Brother James Gaskell Sr. and Brother Charles Gaskell the Jr. and the entire family that took the time out and come down to St. Kitts to assist us with our awareness march and stuff. I want to big up yourself. Happy New Year, and I hope that Mama Gaskell, I hope she's well also. You know, the situation is dire, my good people. And when I listened on Monday to individual that has been silent on everything that is taking place on St. Kitts, because there's a lot that have been taking place on St. Kitts. Apart from the prison project in Estridge, that should be a big concern. The Reginald Francis matter over there in the New Guinea area should be a big concern. The Southeast, Friars Bay, and the Christophe Harbor matter, these things should be of big concerns. There's also some other serious concerns on Nevis. The Glen Barrow matter. There's so many things and things that we should be concerned about, because it's going to come to affect us eventually. It might not touching us at the moment, but as they are successful with one, it's going to trickle down to everybody else. But some people get personal. It's about political parties. For the DJ, it's not about the political parties. For the DJ, it's about saving our St. Kitts Nevis and the citizens, just as they had replaced other individuals with us. They are looking to replace us right now. That is where it's at. You don't have to walk far in St. Kitts, just drive around there to Bloody Point. They put up on your billboard there some days or weeks ago. Go and read the information. That is where we are heading, my good people. Right here in St. Paul's, just down the road there, Hilden, a little village where my grandfather would take me on a Sunday afternoon while I was a kid here, growing up in St. Kitts. Christmas Eve, I was intercepted by some Chinese individuals there and some dogs, telling me I cannot go down to the beach on a public road. It's been over a week. I filed a police report. I'm still waiting to hear from the police. I communicated with the commissioner of police. I'm still waiting for him to set a meeting date for us to discuss this matter. Many of our beaches are blocked off from access to citizens and residents alike. I wasn't the one that said it. The laws of the Federation tells us that all beaches in St. Kitts and Nevis must be accessible to the citizens. So When I was intercepted by these individuals and those dogs, and a head of security came there to talk to me. He said he knew the law of St. Kitts Nevis. He said he grew up in St. Kitts, he born in St. Kitts. But the question he asked me, which was a serious question, that was a genuine question. How would I know that the government did not sell that road to those foreign investors? And that's a serious question because that is how that is taking place. Our government, they sell us out, and they will sell everything and anything if we don't stand up to them, my good people. And that wasn't bad enough, you know. That was not bad enough. While a security officer is asking me that question, suppose the government sold the public road to these foreign investors. The police was called by those same foreign investors, and the police came there, and the police lived there nonchalant. No report taken. Nothing was done other than saying to me, the people own all down here, you know. And I had to ask the police. The people own all down here do not know what training they give them in the police training school about our constitution and our laws. Because in as much as they might have operations down there, in no way they could own the public road. And if somebody sold them the public road, then somebody violated the laws of our Bill of Federation. There's a dog act. How dogs should be handled and owned in our Bill of Federation. There was so many violations that evening. Unlawful detention of a citizen. There's so many laws that was broken. But the police was just satisfied to come. And when I challenged the police based on the laws of the Federation, after that individual got clarity from, I guess, a superior, then the word was given that I was on a public road. But it should not end there. The DJ should not have to now come and pursue this on his own as a citizen. The police supposed to act. There were so many violations that took place that evening. And to date, as I sit here talking to you, my online viewers, nobody has done anything to further this conversation or to address this matter. And I can say to you, I have since traveled the island, and there are many more beaches that are blocked off that need to be addressed. We have two representatives in this community, constituency number 6, in the like of the foreign minister, Dr. Denzel Douglas, who seems like he lives in Dubai. To date, I have not heard from Dr. Douglas, and I know that he's an island, and I know he's aware of my situation. I have a cousin there, Dr. Clark, who just lived down a stone throw from me. I am yet to hear from Dr. Clark. These are people that say they represent us and want to represent us. And I make it clear to you, my people of constituency number 6. Election is around the corner. And I want to hear from you all. Are you all satisfied with the kind of representation that we are getting in our community? Are you satisfied with the representation of Dr. Douglas and Dr. Clark? Because the DJ definitely is not. And I'm not going to run around begging anybody to come have a conversation with me. I will have the conversation here. They know how to find me if they want to talk to me quietly. I'm going to talk loud. And I'm going to talk loud, I'm going to talk hard, and I'm going to talk long. I'm going to talk loud, I'm going to talk hard, and I'm going to talk long. When the time comes to put your ex, and I want to put them back there, it's up to all you know. But when I don't put them there, don't come complaining to me. Do not come complaining to the DJ. I have received many phone calls, many messages in the last couple of days. asking me when is the next match. Why are you asking the DJ when is the next match? The DJ did 4 matches in 2025, respectively, September 26th, October 31st, November 21st, December 19th. I got more support from the elders and from foreigners than I get from locals. But you locals are asking me when is the next match. Well, these matches cost money, you know. There's a cost to these things. So I'm saying to you all now, the DJ will move when he have to move. The DJ is not going to do anything until the resources is there to cover the expense. The DJ is not going to continue digging deep to represent you all, and you all just sit back and wait. And you all want to be ambassadors and advisors, and you want this when government change. You want government change, you want this, you want that, but you're willing to work for it. While the few that are benefiting take pride in cussing the DJ, say the DJ should stay quiet. The DJ should not say nothing because the system is corrupt and nothing going to change. Well, all I can say to those individuals, if you all know the system was corrupt in 2022, when you all join with me and partner with me to get rid of the team unity administration, well, you all could have just told me back then, the system is corrupt, nothing going to change, and I would have stayed. I would have abstained. I would have continued my fight to reach Dr. Harris and his team to turn things around. I would not have been fighting to get rid of them. I fought to get rid of them for a better St. Kitts Nevis. That was the idea, to get rid of them, you know. The idea was not to get rid of the farmer administration and put in one that is worse. That's what we got. And I have to accept that, and I have to acknowledge that. This is where we are. So when I'm going to hear these supporters of the Labour Party, what you're talking for? The other government was doing it. That is the reason why they're not there. I fought against them because of what they were doing was wrong. So if this government is doing it now, we have to be wrong as well. My good people. As I said before, for those of you who have access to Facebook, go on my Facebook page. The status of the prison project is there. Those buildings that started a few months before the removal of the farm administration, they're still in the ground. The steels are still sticking up. They are overrun by grass. Those structures that are up in the air, 3, 4, 5 storage, those are structures that started under this administration. We were misled by Dr. Joe then and Prime Minister Joe now. The principal person that was in charge of Galaxy, the Ramada Hotel, where the dogs want to eat the DJ, and that prison project, was taken to the United Nations Assembly, General Assembly, back in 2022, along with another Indian gentleman. We've been asking why, and you're going to tell me up until today, going on 4 years, your citizens are so weak. You cannot demand the Prime Minister tell you why he took those 2 individuals to the United Nations. That's what you all want to tell the DJ? That we cannot question the Prime Minister about how our money is spent? Well, I can tell you something. There are some out there banging them out. And I would challenge them because they know the fact. The reason why that young lady was able to pull this sprint is because they control our money. They control our CBI. Let them tell you about the bounce check for over $1 million that were given to the Prime Minister. His hands were tied. That is what they said. That is what is alleged. Let them tell you who control our money. Foreigners control this country. The Prime Minister is just there as a yo-yo. They're just leading him to what they want. Our CBI, $250,000 US per pop. 30,000 go to the government. 220,000, nobody could explain it. This is where we are, while the country is suffering. It is alleged that in November, even prior to November, but in November, this government couldn't afford to pay civil servants, It's a private organization had to pay civil servant in November, again in December. And the pressure on them for this double salary that they paid, again, is our future generation going to pay back their money, them loan that we're getting all over the place? It's not free. I gave you all the story about the Prime Minister when I was at the JNF, telling me without me asking him any question. I didn't ask him. I didn't ask him where the money coming from. All I explained to him is the situation with the water coming through the roof need to be fixed. He sent some Taiwanese up there. They came, they assessed, we decided how things going to get done, and the material came in, the waterproofing started. The Prime Minister, when I gave him an update, he chose to tell this DJ, that it was a grant for labor and material from the Taiwanese government. It's only after the leak continues for months, and I keep calling back the contractor to do repairs. The contractor informed me that they cannot live up to the guarantee of the work until they get paid. And I asked them what they're talking about getting paid. And then I asked them to send me a copy of the contract, which they did. Lo and behold, there was more than one contract, some $180,000+ on one of them. And as I've said previously, for the kind of waterproofing that was done, if the Prime Minister was honest with me and said to me, DJ, we have $150,000 to fix that roof. How can we go about getting something done? I guarantee you, we could have used local contractors here and do a better job. That will be long lasting. Would have last longer because the leaks continues. The waterproofing based on how the work was done. The water still seeping under those rubber walls up there. The buildings, all of them structurally, water penetrating them. So water not only just penetrating the roof of the hospital, it's penetrating the sides as well. Anybody could walk around the buildings and see the cracks. Those are poured slabs. I know folks speak about mold and stuff like that, but in most areas, I don't think it's mold because mold require a certain kind of atmosphere to survive. But the situation are dire. And the lies continues, the lies continues, and this DJ cannot help but continue to bring the facts to you, the people. You all could cuss, you all could deny. Like someone tell me, an ostrich have a big ass, and when they bury their head in the sand because they don't want to see what's coming, they don't realize that the ass is exposed. And that's what we have here in St. Kitts and Nevis, a lot of ostriches. They don't want to hear anything negative about the government or the party they support, which is wrong. When we speak about CBI, we used to attack Timothy Harris, the former Prime Minister. But if we really dig deep beneath the surface, in all political affiliations, PAM, Labour, CCM, NRP, PLP, there are many people, lawyers and otherwise, in those organizations that have sold CBI, Citizens by Investment, our passport. Many of them you see with the big buildings out there showing off. CBI, that's what built them. Many of these structures that are unfinished, like the Ramada, these ain't no investors coming with no money. Our CBI, our money, our patrimony. My good people, it's only you all can stop it. I did not know a lot of things until I chose to take a step back and look at what has been said and doing my own investigation and my own due diligence. And the things that are coming up is mind-boggling. I listen to them talking about budget after budget after budget. And, you know, there's a few things that never come out in this budget. And in my travels and speaking with individuals and people who see me on social media and appreciate what I am doing and want to update me and things that they know, it's mind-boggling. Because there's something that I found out a few weeks ago. And I did some digging afterwards. And it begs the question to ask. We have several vessels around the globe, several vessels, several ships, several yachts around the globe that carries bear the St. Kitts Nevis flag. And stupid me, you know. I used to think it's people that live in St. Kitts are citizens of St. Kitts that own those yachts. It's only lately I found out that many of these vessels never dock in St. Kitts. Many of these people never travel to St. Kitts. They don't even know where St. Kitts is, other than looking at a map. Some of them don't have intention of coming to St. Kitts. But they pay a fee to the government to fly the flag because, as per explanation to me, St. Kitts has a low rate of taxes compared to other countries that these ships can pay lower taxes. Like if you register in the US, you have to pay X amount. If you register St. Kitts, you might pay half or a quarter the amount in taxes. So it's a tax haven. So I took the opportunity and went and did a little digging myself to see what's going on with this registry. And my good people, I would hope that some of you take the time out to dig as well and ask the question that I am asking. There's a St. Kitts Nevis International Ship Registry that the main office is in the UK someplace. Is in the UK. And we got some serious number of vessels that is registered with the St. Kitts Nevis flag. And, you know, when I did my investigation, I could not believe what I was seeing. The amount of vessels, thousands of vessels that have registered with our flags. You understand? And even under this government, much more. From 22 to now, much more vessels has been registered using our flags. So I need to know where the money. Who getting that money? Because basically, you know, based on the numbers I'm seeing on this registry, it doesn't add up to where one of a gentleman, his yacht value over $5 million US. And when I ask how much the fee he paid for the St. Kitts flag, I searched the registry top, bottom, left, right. And that kind of money is not registered in the registry. So I want to know the real numbers, how much these vessels are paying and who they're paying it to and where's our money. I got to ask Dr. Harris to look in his audit reports and see if anything in there talking about these foreign ships registry? I got to ask Dr. Richard as well, because I can't get these answers from the AG, from the Prime Minister, from the Foreign Minister. How much more are we going to accept? How much more? It looks like somebody is operating Dr. Douglas' Facebook page these days, like the Facebook page is hacked. Because some things I'm seeing on his Facebook page, even I see someone comment, they want to know if his page was hacked. There's one I see here, nothing lasts forever, power fades, positions change, position shifts, pressure lifts, pain passes, let's have faith and remain strong. There's another one. If you don't understand a person's intention, you will never truly comprehend their action, but action speaks louder than words. I would like to know if Dr. Douglas is having some kind of relapse when he posted these things. There's another one here that, again, and someone asks, is this page hacked? Dr. Douglas page post, small Caribbean islands to accept refugees from US. They all had no choice but to. Hear me again. Small Caribbean islands to accept refugees from US. They all had no choice but to. This is coming from the Foreign Minister. There's another comment here coming from Dr. Douglas page. Is there one voice in CARICOM? How is the chairmanship of CARICOM determined? Why now in the new year Venezuela is attacked? Can't recall hearing Jamaica speaking up. They start fighting against each other already. They start blaming Jamaica now. There's another one coming from Dr. Douglas page. All around the globe, leaders and opposition members, leaders are having press conference because every country is affected directly by the capture of Maduro. Dr. Douglas, I know you will be affected by the capture of Maduro. Tell the country why. This is the time to be honest with the people. Don't wait until it's too late. Hear me again, Dr. Douglas. There's a post on your page. All around the globe, leaders and opposition members, leaders are having press conferences because every country is affected directly by the capture of Maduro. Dr. Douglas, you will be affected as well. Tell the country why. There's another post here. A sovereign state, does it really mean anything? No respect for another country's sovereignty. Wait, Dr. Douglas, you just realize this? Let me read it again. A sovereign state, does it really mean anything? No respect for another country, sovereignty. Wait, Dr. Douglas, remember back in, I think it's 2013, 2014, when you was Prime Minister, when you took the place of birth field from the then St. Kitts Nevis passport, for whatever reason, and the US talked to you about it, you tell nobody going to tell you to run your country. You remember you lose your visa to the US, followed by losing the prime ministership. You all in learning? Once you're all going to do these corrupt things, where the citizens themselves do not see, I don't have the strength to stand up to you all, I welcome places like the US to come and straighten you all up. Because these citizens in our beloved Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, they're afraid of you. This DJ ain't afraid of none of you, you know. This DJ gonna call it like it is. This DJ will call it like it is. So I am one of those people. No matter how wrong it may be in some of you all mind. If you walk down the street and you see some young boy or some young girl beating up a senior, and the senior is helpless and can't take care of themselves, are you going to just sit back and say, they have a right to beat that senior, or you're going to put in yourself and make sure that you protect that senior. I want to thank the United States of America for making the move they make. And I welcome them to the Federation to fix down here too, because we got big problems in St. Kitts and Nevis. I am saying this. Every citizen should be concerned about what is taking place in our beloved Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Cut out the parties in politics nonsense. Cut out the hands out. Every citizen have a right to our CBI, not just a chosen few. There's something here that Dr. Douglas have to, I like this one. He said, this is a thought. People love money. Money changes people, attitude towards you. If you have money, you will have company. But if you don't have money, you will be ignored. But that's what's going on right now, Dr. Douglas. You know you're part of that. This is your thought, and this is a fact. Your thought, Dr. Douglas. People love money. You love money. Money changes people's attitude towards you if you have money. You know that. That is your Labour candidates. That is your Labour Party doctrine. You will have company. But if you don't have money, you'll be ignored. That is the whole thing. Let me go across to Nevis, because I got one here from the Premier Brantley too. I just love to read these guys' morning views. Premier Brantley sent out one last year. He said, an SK man sent me a poll about destiny. I told him to send me the poll he did about fair share of the CBI money for Nevis. And after I see that, I will look at the one about destiny. If no one care about me a morning, don't pretend you care about me at night. I wonder if that one was for Dwyer. But Dwyer, that one that was for you? Well, Dr. Douglas have another thought here, and I love his thoughts there. Dr. Douglas said, what done in the dark will always come to light and may also haunt and taunt us. Be mindful of your actions. Let me read it again. Dr. Douglas thought, what done in the dark will always come to light and may haunt you and taunt us. Be mindful of your action. I hope you're telling your partner, Dr. Judith, because at the end of the day, you are sitting in cabinet and they say they're protecting you, Dr. Douglas. That's what the word on the street is. We are in the mess that we are in because they're trying to protect you. From what I don't know. I look forward for you to tell me what they're protecting you from. But the last one I'm going to read for Dr. Douglas, because I want this one to sink in. He said on his page, we arrive with nothing and spend our lives chasing dreams and everything. But at the end of it all, we exit life with nothing. May our souls and mind be in the right places. Dr. Douglas, I love this one. I love this one. We arrive with nothing, spend our lives chasing dreams and everything, but at the end of it all, we exit life with nothing. May our soul and minds be in the right places. My good folks, let me jump to a clip here. This one will move on to our next segment.
That I want to come to, Madam Speaker, is the Bastia High School. I heard construction has started, and so I went up there to see the construction. Not even a hot to see up there for the workers to use. This is what I saw. But Madam Speaker, I've saved this one for last, because I have some questions to ask about that, Madam Speaker. If construction has started on the Bastia High School, who is the contractor which has been awarded this particular construction project? Who is the contractor? Member for number one was quite vocal a few minutes ago. Who is the contractor? Is it a company by the name of Pre-Conco, St. Kitts Limited? Is it a company by the name of Pre-Conquer Limited? The member for number 8 said nobody must speak about Bastia High School. And he said some 20-something million dollars had been spent. $21 million had been spent and nothing there to show for it. Has Pre-Conquer been given $10 million US to date in respect of mobilization fees for Bastia High School? Has Pre-Conquer been given $10 million US to date in respect of mobilization fees for the construction of Bastia High School? Member for number 1, gone quiet. Has Pre-Conquer been given a contract for $100,350,000 to build the Bastia High School? $271 million to build the Bastia High School? When you look at the budget at the Volume 2, Madam Speaker, Volume 2 in respect of Bastia High School says the estimated total cost is $35 million. $35 million. Has Pre-Conquer been given a contract for $271 million to build Bastia High School? Why is the budget address saying $35 million if a contract has been given for $271 million to build the Bastia High School? Nobody must talk about Bastia High School. Well, I'm talking about it. And I dare anybody in here to tell me something differently. Tell me that $10 million US today, 27 million easy dollars have not been given to Pre-Conquer in respect of the Bastia High School. Tell me if Pre-Conquer hasn't been given a contract for $100 million, $350,000 to build the Bastia High School, $271 million to build a school. $271 million. Member for number 1, gone quiet. Minister of Education, gone quiet. I'm asking questions.
Yes, my good people. Like Dr. Richard says, why should a project for the Bastia High School be cost at $35 million, but a contract is given for that higher amount? Well, let me ask Dr. Richards to reinforce his question.
If construction has started on the Bastia High School, who is the contractor which has been awarded this particular construction project? Who is the contractor? Member for number 1 was quite vocal a few minutes ago. Who is the contractor? Is it a company by the name of Pre-Conquer, saying it's limited? Is it a company by the name of Pre-Conquer Limited? The member for number 8 said nobody must speak about Bastia High School. And he said some 20-something million dollars had been spent. $21 million had been spent and nothing there to show for it. Has Pre-Conquer been given $10 million US to date in respect of mobilization fees for Bastia High School? Has Pre-Conquer been given $10 million US to date in respect of mobilization fees for the construction of Bastia High School? Member for number 1, gone quiet. Has Pre-Conquer been given a contract for $100,350,000 to build the Bastia High School? $271 million to build the Bastia High School? When you look at the budget at the Volume 2, Madam Speaker, Volume 2 in respect of Bastia High School says the estimated total cost is $35 million. $35 million. Has Pre-Conquer been given a contract for $271 million to build Bastia High School. Why is the budget address saying $35 million if a contract has been given for $271 million to build the Bastia High School? Nobody must talk about Bastia High School. Well, I'm talking about it. And I dare anybody in here to tell me something differently.
So, my good people, I have a concern that members of the cabinet of the Labour Party don't have concerns or questions about that presentation. Is the entire cabinet a part of this corruption? Why the supporters of the Labour Party, while citizens out here scrunting and struggling to make ends meet, were they not concerned about this kind of level of corruption? That I would like to know. Well, we're going to step it up a bit, We're going to step it up a bit. I am going to go into another section here. Let's go back to the smart homes. We'll come back to the Bastia High School. Let's go to the smart homes. Because between the AG and Dr. Hanley, they believe only them got brain, eh? So let's step it back a bit. Let's go back to the smart homes. Because we're still waiting to hear from the AG in regards to the status of the smart homes and what's going on with the contract. We heard from the developer, but we're yet to hear from the government. So let's just take a step back to 2025.
Essentially an agreement between NHC and East Coast. Government has a very limited role in the agreement. However, the agreement was prepared and vetted by the Attorney General's office. There is strong protection in the agreement in terms of quality of homes, in terms of delivery of homes, in terms of the use of local contractors. All of that is contained in the contract. I feel certain that we have sufficient protections that will protect NHC, will protect the government, and will protect the homeowner built into the agreement. With any contract, there is always potential doubt as to whether the contractor can perform. Just because a contractor has built 10,000 homes or 5 homes in St. Kitts and they're building your home does not necessarily mean that they're going to build it in the proper way. That is why you are supposed to have a construction contract. And in that construction contract, you're supposed to have a project manager. And the project manager at the various phases of the building of that home is supposed to report to the homeowner whether the construction is being built according to the plans that are agreed by the what's your board called? The Development Control and Planning Board. All of those provisions are in place, and they're even strengthened more because it's a 2,400 home project. So I can assure the people of St. Kitts and Nevis that we thoroughly vetted the contract and ensured that there's sufficient protection for homeowners, NHC, and the government. Oh, yes. And there's even greater protection. There will be built into the contract is that 2 model homes will be built. If the government and or NHC are not satisfied with the model homes, and by extension, the contractors that will be part of the construction of these model homes because of the new technology, and the potential homeowners, all the stakeholders, if they're not satisfied with the model homes, the contract comes to an end. And that is the primary protection that the people of this country have. And that was the fundamental aspect that we wanted to include to make us feel even more comfortable moving forward with this agreement.
So my good people, for those of you who may have watch the live recording I did from those two model homes, one over there in the Canary area and one over there, what do you call that area over there? Anyway, it is clear that the homeowners that receive those homes, they are satisfied with the homes. So the question is, why there's an issue with the developer receiving those additional properties to continue building homes. We're still waiting for that answer from the AG. Let's continue listening.
I also want to take this opportunity, if I can, Prime Minister. I hear a lot of chat about procurement. And I think it's important for the people of this country to understand what procurement is. In 2012, there was a Procurement Act passed. Procurement covers three things: goods purchased with treasury money. And when I say treasury money, I mean that's the people's money. Services that are purchased with the people's money. And construction, which is paid for by the people's money. This agreement with East Coast has none of those three elements. It is not a matter of procurement. It is a matter between NHC, which is a statutory corporation, and East Coast, and individual homeowners. There is no government money, no treasury money that is being paid out for there to be procurement issues. And I find it strange that persons who were in government in the past and should have a great understanding, because I can tell you, the people at this table, we probably hear Procurement Act more than anything else in our offices. I'll give you an example. The office wanted, and my PS is here so she could confirm, the fridge when I got into the office, the mini fridge, was not working. So the office had to procure a mini fridge. In order to procure the mini fridge, the office had to seek to get a quote from TDC, a quote from Hosfors, a quote from somewhere else, review the quotes, and then choose an option. And the whole point of that process is to ensure that treasury money, the people's money, is being spent in the best way. That is how procurement works. So when, for example, the government wishes to build a training school for the police, the government then, the structure under the Procurement Act, sends out tenders and saying, these are the plans for the police training school. We want we're sending out a tender for contractors to submit how much it will cost for them to construct this building. When government money is being spent, that's how the process works. So then the tenders come in and the procurement board meets and they determine which contractor they're choosing to go with to build this building. That is how procurement works. This structure is not that type of structure. It is not taxpayers' money that is going. It is individuals who are buying these homes. NHC, who is not subject to the Procurement Act, who is facilitating these homes being built. And it just surprises me that there's references to Bastia High. Actually, I find it absurd, the comparison, because the Bastia High, whereby I think $21 million has been paid out to date by the people of this country. Not a thing is over there. What you said, to move dirt, Prime Minister?
Move dirt.
Manage dirt. That was treasury money being paid out. No procurement. And the same people who facilitated and supervised that are the persons making noise about this project, which has nothing to do with procurement. And unfortunately, that's the society we live in. People like to make noise without knowing the facts. And that is why we come here in these meetings, to give everyone the facts. And I would hope that once everyone leaves here, they'll go to the housing fair so they could get even more facts. Because we're going to go there. Because the only way we can progress as a people is to start making decisions and start thinking in relation to facts and not emotion, not sensationalism, not political maneuvering and propaganda, but being a people who try to get the facts before they comment. And it is our job to try and give you the facts.
So, Mr. AG, you're right about one thing. You all come to these meetings trying to give people the impression that you are bringing facts. But all you guys do is just mislead the people. Because many people went to the housing fair that you invited them to. Many people signed up to get their house built. What's the status of those homes? What will those people do now? What become of that ESO's housing contract? We're still waiting to hear from you. And when you speak about the claim of $21 million to move dirt or to do whatever with dirt, we want to hear about this $271 million that was contracted to build the Bastia High. That was estimated to be 35 million. The DJ wants to know. So come and talk to the people. Now, like I said, we're blasting from the past, so we're going back to Parliament of 2025. You guys remember when the AG promised to take away your phones? Let's take a listen.
General.
May it please you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I also wish to extend Independence greetings to our fellow citizens and residents of St. Kitts, our beautiful country, St. Kitts and Nevis. And I want to repeat the theme for this year: together a people proud and strong, Independence 41. I want people to remember that. But on a less light note, Madam Speaker, I am very upset. I am upset because there are people in this country who feel that it is okay to attack other people under the guise of their electronic devices. In the recent past, there have been numerous attacks at my friend and colleague, the member for number 2, by way of WhatsApp forwards, TikTok videos, and other ridiculous allegations that were made that has put her life and the life of her child at risk. We cannot be a society where we make fun and joke of things like that. There are people in this country who treat political party over everything else. They do not care about the lives of other people. They do not care about decency. All they want to do is attack and win political points. They are nasty people, and they must be condemned. And Madam Speaker, I do not want to take this spirit of celebration that we're in Independence 41 and bring a downer to it. But I felt it needed to be said, Madam Speaker. And I want to point out to our people, there are laws in this country that make it a criminal offense to either make or forward statements, letters, any sort of art, communications by electronic device that either harasses, threatens, intimidates, molests other people. It is called unlawful communications. And Madam Speaker, I want the people of this country to know that if the culture of forwarding and sending around things that could cause harm to other people is not stopped voluntarily by the goodwill and decency within your heart, the police are going to have to stop it. And the police have the authority and they have the law to take your phone, and don't matter what you delete, it can be found. And the police will charge you and bring you to justice.
So my good people, that is the AG speaking in Parliament about unlawful communication. Now I want you, the people of St. Kitts Nevis, to tell me if this communication to Mr. Reginald Francis by the AG, if this is lawful or unlawful.
Good afternoon.
Fred, I am extremely
extremely disappointed to hear that you are telling people stupidness about me and my wife. Do not cross the fucking line. Do not cross the fucking line.
What are you talking about?
Because I will deal with it in court, Reggie. Do not call my fucking name and my wife's fucking name to anybody. You hear me?
I don't know if that's
Do not fucking call my name and my wife's name to somebody.
all
Do
right.
not do it.
All right.
So, my good people, again, I'm going to drop it again, because I want to know your views on this matter. Is this lawful or unlawful communication by the AG to Mr. Reginald Francis?
Good afternoon.
Fred, I am extremely disappointed to hear that you are telling people stupidness about me and my wife. Do not cross the fucking line. Do not cross the fucking line.
What are you talking about?
Because I will deal with it in court, Reggie. Do not call my fucking name and my wife's fucking name to anybody. You hear me?
I don't know if that's
Do not fucking call my name and my wife's name to somebody.
all
Do
right.
not do it.
All right.
Yeah, so that's our AG reaching out to Brother Reginald Francis and informing him that he's not supposed to call his wife's name. I do not know how he get that information, if Reggie called his wife's name or Reggie went to help kill a centipede or if he went to hold a dog or he went to pick a mango. But the AG did refer Brother Reginald Francis. As we continue with the conversation, we're going to go back to the what do you call it there, the budget address, and let's hear what Brother Timothy Harris there have to say about this loan to one of the biggest hotel on the island of St. Kitts.
A loan of $27 million was made to aid in the stabilization and long-term viability of the largest hotel in the country. At the time when, if we listened to the presentations, the hotel sector is... I haven't even finished my point.
He doesn't have to, based on the rule.
Yeah.
I recognize the honourable member for St. Christopher 6.
Madam Speaker, again, the distinguished member opposite is making reference to a loan to the largest hotel in this country of some $27 million. And he's reading from a document. Please share the contents of what you're reading. What's the name of the document? What's the name of the hotel? You can't be making statements like those in this parliament. But you had gone on. And if you are misleading, the public must not hear negative things which are misleading things.
So before we proceed to the member for St. Christopher 7 responding, I need to make it clear that the rule that which allows for interruption, it doesn't have a guideline that says the person has to wait on, the member has to wait until the other member finishes the sentence or the statement. If the member who wishes to rise on the rule for interruption is of the view that something is being said which should not be said or which offends the rule, that member has the right to rise without waiting for the sentence or the statement to be complete. So I need to place that on the record. Honourable member for St. Christopher 7, you may proceed to respond to the point of order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I am speaking as I was about to say, and I said it really, preface it, the documents of the government itself. If members have not read the document, then that is a different matter. But I am reading from this document, Madam Speaker, the National Audit Office document which was presented as part of the list of items, and if you check your audit paper, member for number 6, you will see the Director of Audit report. The page 28, member for number 6. And I read, Madam Speaker, from the official document of the government. Sorry. Madam, sorry. Thank you. And the Director of Audit had it very crystal clear. Subhead, Madam Speaker, draw your attention to the top of the page, loans. In 2023, says the forensic auditor, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis entered into a loan agreement with the Royal St. Kitts Beach Resort Limited for the issuance of a non-interest-bearing loan in the amount of $27 million. Why? It goes on. To aid in the stabilization and long-term viability of the Marriott's operations. And it goes further. In 2023, $18 million was disbursed, and a further $8 million was disbursed in 2024. So that is the document from which this has been taken. And I raised that in the...
May I respond?
Sorry, yes.
Yes, please. Member for number 6, you raised an issue. The Honourable Member for St. Christopher 7 drew attention to the particular document as wished. Do you intend to respond? I'm ready to, very well, because I was about to rule. The member for number 7 is within his rights.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I raise this again. Look at it. The issuance of a non-interest-bearing loan. An important point. It's not just a loan. It is a special loan. Not 1% interest, not 2% interest, not 3% interest, not 4% interest, not 10% interest. An interest-free loan to aid in the stabilization, which means things not so good, and long-term viability of its operations. And it begs the question, if we have the largest and on the face of it the most successful, if we had known this, but on the face of it, brand name, internationally known, is having issues with the stabilization and long-term viability, what is happening to our tourism brand? Question I'm...
Yes, my good people. When I first heard that exchange between Dr. Douglas and Timothy in Parliament, I smiled. I said, Dr. Harris caught Dougie with the pants down. But upon reflection, no dread now. Dr. Douglas knew exactly what he was doing. Dr. Douglas wanted, in my view, to highlight the bad deed of Prime Minister Joe with that loan that he was not in support of. And that is why I believe that Dr. Douglas intercepted Timothy and ensured that Timothy drilled down into that document and presented the information more clearly for the citizens to see. So my good people, while our local citizens struggle and go through hell to get assistance from the government we elect, the foreign investors get a smooth walk. Just imagine. That is why we find ourselves in all kind of things that Sean Richards is going to speak about now. Something we call deficit.
There was no recession globally since 2009. There was no recession in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis since 2009. So what is the reason why we have, over the last 3 years, deficits totaling some $708 million? Madam Speaker, I have come to the conclusion that Labour is the problem. Labour is the problem. If you ain't had no recession, you ain't had no COVID, you ain't had no war, you ain't had no natural disaster, well, the one thing that we have, that we know of, is a Labour government. So Labour has to be the problem. That is the conclusion I've come to, Madam Speaker, that Labour is the problem. That is why we have deficits totaling $708 million over the last 3 years. We have a Labour government. Labour is the problem.
Yes, my good people, and I concur with Dr. Sean K. Richards. This Dr. Labour administration is the problem. That is why the country is in a rut. But Sean didn't stop there now. Sean had to remind somebody who didn't pay the nanny social and get away with it, and somebody who falsify documents at customs and get away with it.
And began reading it. And so I didn't really have the time to do the research to be able to respond effectively to it. Now, there are those who have said I went to Antigua to wind up myself rather than being here to debate the bill. And so the last thing I'm going to say, Madam Speaker, that even if I went to Antigua to wind up myself, at least when I came back, Madam Speaker, nobody could say that I used money that should have been used to pay Social Security for my nanny to go to Antigua. And nobody could say I made any false declaration and end up in problems with customs. May it please you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, my boy Sean drop a rough one there. My good people, as I get almost to the bottom of the hour with this new year, January 7th, 2026, there's much more clips to be dropped, but I really don't want to get into any further conversation that will take me much more into overtime. So what I'm going to do here at this time is to drop a track and get into my closing at this time. But definitely, God's willing, next Wednesday, I will be back to continue the conversation. And believe me, it's getting hot in the kitchen. We need some mic, some fans or something in here, because there's so much shit that is happening in our bill of federation. You would not believe. There's a saying. We like what you don't like for yourself, don't give to people, eh? So let me drop this track.
We not against, but we not for it. We didn't want you in the common market. We not against, but we not for it. We didn't want you in the common market. Living today is such a racket. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. We realize for you we can choose, but now they take you, the whole Caribbean could lose. We gave you gold products from Guyana. From all the islands you get your sugar. Nutmeg and spice you get from Grenada. St. Lucia should charge you more for banana. It's ungrateful and the world should brand you a brute to leave Trinidad with all them citrus fruits. Now you join the market and you may prosper. I said the whole West Indies could suffer. You say you don't have to take care of us, want independence, so then you give it fast. We know that the gold passed out in France, Pompidou come, and he give you a chance. Opportunity, so you take it fast. Now you are free of us at last. Looking further, I can prove it still. Since you has passed that immigration bill, and we gave you gold products from Guyana. From all the islands, you get your sugar. Nutmeg and spice you get from Grenada. St. Lucia should charge you more for banana. Ungrateful and the world should brand you a brute to leave Trinidad with all them citrus fruit. Now you join the market and you may prosper. I say the whole West Indies go suffer. You gave us guarantee till 74. Why didn't you say that before? To catch our health we need more time. For this we need till 1999. St. Kitts, Nevis and Anguilla. Don't forget Antigua and Barbuda. We can't forget how you treat us bad. We can't afford to buy no damn picking bag. We gave you gold products from Guyana. From all the islands you get your sugar. Nutmeg and spice you get from Grenada. St. Lucia should charge you more for banana. Ungrateful and the world should brand you a brute to leave Trinidad with all them citrus fruit. Now you join the market and you may prosper. I say the whole West Indies go suffer. Control us during the slavery. Everything we had, you took for free. Then you stayed on 100 years. When you left us, we were all in tears. We had nothing left for ourselves. Only dust you leave on top of our shelf. You robbed us blind, leave us in the mud. Now you're gone and you join the European club. We gave you gold products from Guyana. From all the islands you get your sugar. Nutmeg and spice you get from Grenada. St. Lucia should charge you more for banana. Ungrateful and the world should brand you a brute to leave Jamaica with all them citrus fruit. Now you join the market and you may prosper. I say the whole West Indies go suffer.
Yes, sound of the man, Brother Emmanuel, aka the King Shotshot. Now let me drop this track here for those folks down there at the Ramada. Let them know that this beach, the DJ will be back before you know it.
Bathing in seawater, but nowadays that is the horror. If I only venture down by the shore, police telling me I can't be no more. Cause Jack Gabby say that the bitch belong to we. That bitch is mine, I could pay it anytime. Despite what he say, I can pay it anyway. That bitch is mine, I could pay it anytime. Despite what he say, I can pay it anyway.
Little boy, where you going?
I got up on the bed.
But you can't go down there, Jack, so you can't make down there.
But you're the idiot hour. Let me tell Jack something here. Like, my mother be there, my father be there, my sister be there, my brother be there, my uncle be there, and I got be there. That beach is mine, that beach is mine, that beach is mine, mine and only mine. That beach is mine, that beach is mine, that beach is mine, 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 mine and only mine. That beach is mine, I can pay anytime.
Yes, that beach is ours, man. We got a bed there anytime. Want to touch base with that boy, the man, Peter Sadler. How you doing, brother James Sadler? Sadler Funeral Home, Main Street, Sandy Point, there, St. Kitts. I hope you're doing well, my brother. For you folks who look in some place comfortable to rest your loved ones for their final resting place, just reach out to brother Peter there. His US number is 917-468-4473 if you're in the US. That's 917-468-4473 if you are in the US. And if you're local here in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis, you know, you got to reach numbers like 869-763-1907. That's 869-763-1907, 869-669-0948, or 869-767-3180. The office number, you can check him out there. Email sadlerfuneralhome@gmail.com. I also want to touch base with my brothers there at the Island Purified Water, Main Street, Newton Ground, St. Kitts. The best water people. Want to touch the man there, Brother Powell and his family, the man Scatter. Hope all is well with you, my brother. Keep up the good work. Continue to keep the DJ hydrated whenever he's in our beloved federation, and that is just lovely. I also got to take a quick run here and say hi to my girl, dear sister Carmen of Carmen Caterers. I understand she had a little accident situation there during the last lap session of Sugar Mass. I hope Carmen is doing well. She has been closed for the last few days. I understand she will be reopening right there in Shirley in downtown Bastia, right opposite the bus and ferry terminal, that this coming Friday. So let me drop a little ad here and wish Sister Carmen well. And I hope that the folks come and support Sister Carmen and her usual dishes, very lovely dishes. As a matter of fact, I'll check Carmen first before I drop that ad, because I don't want to really drop an ad and then folks go there and then there is no Carmen. So I could say that she's scheduled to be there at Shirley on Friday. So just take a swing through and make sure that you let Sister Carmen know that the DJ sent you. Also want to big up my boy there, Brother Cabo of over there in the Fountain area, Nevis. I got to drop his ad as well. I do nice up that later on and deal with Cabo, but let Cabo know that DJ Marisha sent you. Just want to drop my final track before I get out of here. This one is called Arise by the late great The King Arrow. But before I do that, let me drop a little clip here by the man Dr. Harris, reminding the folks who the DJ is.
In our audience today is DJ Marisha. I want you to give him a hand of welcome, because PLP welcomes all. DJ would tell you that he has had some harsh words for me, but I never take that on. I listened. I accept his criticism, shook his hand several times, and I vow that I will do better. I want to thank him, though, for standing on principle. He, like several others, were fooled by Dr. Joe. They have come now to see him as the vindictive, selfish, arrogant, insecure leader that he had always been. So I say welcome to you, my brother and friend. We will not always agree, but I will always admire a man who put his country first. You will always stand tall in my books.
Yes, my good people, and that's what the DJ is all about. Country above self is not just a motto like these politicians. It is all about sweet sugar city St. Kitts Nevis and its people. And right about now, we're going to drop the unofficial anthem to solidify that saying. The late great King Arrow asked the question, would you stand up and see your country dying and never lend a helping hand? And this DJ will tell you no. I am here for the long haul. St. Kitts and Nevis, every time, at all times. So it's love, and I understand.
Your country dying and never lend a helping hand. Would you see your children's future dwindling, creating much disillusion? Or would we watch on idly, disregarding our self-sufficiency? Building a brand new nation, we'll move on together hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise, the country is yours, all yours, still yours. unification, building a brand new nation. We move on together hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours. Can your conscience be clear? Indulging corruption or misusing public office, being accused of unemployment and crimes, or disrupting a citizen's peace. Oh, my country in this harmony, separated politically. Hatred for a brother, cannot love each other. No, I say no, potato. Citizens, let's unite and stand up for rights, all our lives and our lives. Let us reintegrate and correct our mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We move on together hand in hand. So rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours.
Yes, my good people, and as we come to the end of yet another successful podcast, I want to take this time out to send condolences to the family and friends and fellow journalists of Sister Lisa Joseph over there in the St. Lucia area. Stalwart of a journalist, lovely lady. I had the opportunity to communicate with her on numerous occasions throughout the time, sharing information about information and St. Kitts and Lucia and the matter of the CBI. So she's going to be definitely greatly missed by me and I guess other journalists who she have crossed. Very serious and someone who loves to get down to the bottom of things and really make sure that she report the facts. So Lisa, rest in peace, my friend and colleague. I also want to take this opportunity to send condolences out to Sister Muriel there in the Birmingham area, UK, and the passing of her husband, Ralph Francis. Funeral is scheduled to take place in the UK next Tuesday, 13 January. And just want to send condolences to those families. Also here in St. Kitts, my cousin Rita Spingret, her funeral and burial was today in the Sandy Point area. I want to send condolences to Sister Patrice and the rest of the family and the passing of Rita. Didn't realize Rita up on the hill already. May her soul rest in eternal peace. My good people, the struggle is real, the struggle continues. And until next week, as we meet again, same place, same time, DJ Maurice is saying, love and respect to one and all.